Danielle joins us now, and Environment Canada has issued a heat warning.
Yes, most of the province under a heat warning at this point, and the hotter temperatures are actually in northern Alberta right now. That's where we're in the 30s, not here in Calgary. We're not even in warning criteria yet in Calgary, but that warm air is starting to trickle down. So you can expect an even hotter day for tomorrow. So there you go. There's where we have the heat warning in place, although for any areas outside of the heat warning, it's still hot. 26 degrees is the temperature right now at the airport in Calgary. Winds at this point are relatively calm. Your next 24-hour forecast is brought to you by 5th Avenue Volkswagen. Find more than what you're expecting at 5th Avenue Volkswagen. And yes, temperatures will likely crack the 30-degree mark for tomorrow. So the rest of this evening is quiet for tomorrow morning, but a cold front will roll through later in the day tomorrow, closer to those supper hours. And not only do we have the risk of thunderstorms, but the risk of more severe thunderstorms, Calgary and southern Alberta in general. More details on that coming up.
Okay, if you thought today was hot, just wait till tomorrow,
Just
right?
wait till tomorrow, yeah. You know, you always hear people say that, but really today, while we are under the heat warning in Calgary, we didn't quite meet the criteria just yet. So we haven't climbed up to at least 29. But, you know, it's still hot. It's sunny. It's hot. It's very summery out there. Not officially summer just yet, but certainly feels like it out there. And yes, tomorrow an even hotter day as we crack, or likely crack, that 30-degree mark. So a couple things about the heat warning is that we have really, it's in place from Claresholm up through Calgary, Red Deer, Edmonton. Banff and Jasper are not under that because overnight we'll get some relief from the heat in these areas, because it is a whole thing where it's not just the daytime highs but also the overnight lows. And further to the south, Lethbridge over to Medicine Hat, not under the warning as well. That's for a different reason. There's different criteria. So for this area further to the south, we need 2 consecutive days of a high of at least 32 degrees and an overnight low at least 16. So we don't meet that criteria. And here we're looking at a criteria of at least a high of 29 degrees for 2 consecutive days and a low at least 14. So we haven't met that today either yet in Calgary. We may still creep to 29, but probably not. Here we are sitting at 26 degrees right now, 29 Medicine Hat. So again, areas in the south haven't met the warning criteria, but it's still hot. I think that's the point. Look at the heat, though, up to the north. When you look at Golden, it's 30, Jasper 30, 32 in Grand Prairie, 31 in Peace River. So more heat there. That's filtering down, though, so we will get into that 30 range in many communities in southern Alberta for tomorrow. You all can also see in the cloud cover here, that's the edge of the ridge of high pressure. The jet stream bumped all the way up into the territories. I think the key thing to mention, though, when we look at active weather and the potential for that for tomorrow, this pattern is just going to have a little bit of a blip tomorrow. So later in the day, we're going to notice this little blip in the jet stream. It's going to creep in just enough. It's going to allow a cold front to sweep through. That cold front is going to create that lift and that instability. And when you add it to the excessive heat that we're supposed to get for tomorrow, there is the potential for not only thunderstorms, but some of these thunderstorms may meet the more severe criteria. It may not even make it into Calgary, but we will see thunderstorm development in the foothills, in central Alberta, absolutely, maybe a little bit in the south. It's hard to tell and pinpoint where exactly we are going to get that, but we do have the potential in Calgary and all of southern Alberta to get any sort of active weather late day tomorrow, supper hours, and throughout the evening hours, and even rain overnight. And if we do get thunderstorm activity, again, that larger size hail could be a big part of it, and those stronger wind gusts. A little gusty tomorrow, 50 kilometers per hour later in the day for Calgary, and if those cells roll through and if we get any thunderstorm activity, even stronger wind gusts possible with that as the cell rolls through. 30 degrees is our high, sunny for most of the day, though. 26 for Friday, back to 30 for Saturday, and then a completely different weather pattern for next week, and that will kick off on Sunday. Sunday, just a high of 16 with some rain.
I'm looking forward to the dog walk tonight because they'll get all hot and tuckered out and come back and slurp up lots of water.
Yes, and sleep.
And sleep. Yep.
Yes. You know, we are looking at heat for the next 3 days, summery type heat. Today, our high so far 26, so we didn't quite reach the 29. The 29 makes it warning criteria as long as you're at 29 in Calgary for for 2 consecutive days. And again, for tomorrow, we're likely hitting 30. So 26, a little more reasonable on Friday, and then back up to 30 on Saturday. That's it for the excessive heat, though, because then after that, our weather pattern completely changes and we'll be in the teens. One key thing to mention for tomorrow, though, is later in the day, closer to the supper hours, we do have the risk of thunderstorms. We may not see anything. We may see something. If we get thunderstorms, it could actually reach the more severe criteria with that larger size hail, stronger wind gusts, keep the car in the garage, underground, that type of thing.
Thank you. Let's bring Danielle in now. So a heat warning is in effect, as we mentioned, and that is actually nothing to ignore.
Exactly, Tara. This is heat to take seriously. Now, I will say this, though. In Calgary, we haven't quite met the warning criteria just yet. So while it's hot, especially hot if you're stuck out in the sun, it's not quite the warning criteria, but tomorrow will be. Tomorrow will be quite a bit warmer than today. 26 degrees right now. We have to have 2 consecutive days of highs, at least 29 degrees, plus overnight lows in those mid-teens. But we're going to get there for tomorrow. Another key thing about tomorrow is while it will be sunny for most of the day and hot, absolutely, later in the day we have a cold front that will sneak through, and that will create that instability. When you add it to the heat that we have the chance of thunderstorms, but not just that, the chance of more severe thunderstorms. So we'll be back to talk more about that coming up, Tara.
Let's bring Danielle in now. It is so hot out there tonight.
So hot, you know, and even hotter tomorrow. So we're just kind of getting the beginning of this at this point. Most of the province, as we've talked about, under the heat warning at this point. And while we're kind of getting eased into that more excessive heat. So in southern Alberta, we're still in those mid-20s in Calgary and in Lethbridge, for example, higher 20s for Medicine Hat. But it's the 30s that are up north. Look at this. So Jasper at 30, Grand Prairie at 32, Peace River 31, and that 30-degree air is going to trickle in for us tomorrow, so expect it to be even hotter out there tomorrow. And of course, drink lots of water, stay out of the direct sunlight for long periods of time. Of course, it's warmer in the middle of the day, so a lot of things you can do to keep cooler, but with this heat warning in place is really suggesting that we're not even getting that relief at night because temperatures will only drop to those mid-teens, but certainly keep the windows open, except where we have some active weather in store for us. So right now, the ridge of high pressure, the jet stream, all the way up in the territories, but we're going to have a little blip in this weather pattern come later in the day tomorrow, and that means it's going to allow a cold front to sneak through. That's going to create that lift and that instability. When you combine that with the excessive heat, we have the potential not only for thunderstorms, but the more severe thunderstorms with the larger size hail and the stronger wind gusts. So for much of the day tomorrow in Calgary, we're looking at a whole lot of sunshine, but as you can see by your timestamp here, by the time we reach the supper hours, we have the potential of this thunderstorm development, showers and thunderstorms, and again, some of these more severe. None of these cells on this map are going to actually roll into Calgary here, but we still have the potential of it. I just want to make sure you know that. If you do see that approaching, take these ones seriously for tomorrow, because again, all the ingredients are in place for that really active weather. And then we have rain overnight. It clears out though by about 6, 7 in the morning, and then by the time we get into Friday, again, we're looking at lots of sunshine, and the temperatures will build back in again. So 30 degrees is our high for tomorrow. We get the risk of thunderstorms later in the day, larger size hail possible if you can put the car in the garage, park underground, those types of things, especially if you see any of these storms approaching for later in the day tomorrow. Friday, stable, mainly sunny as a ridge builds back in, and it will get us back into the 30s to start the weekend. So if you're making plans on your weekend, Saturday is the day to do that. We're looking at stable weather. We're looking at lots of heat. But by Sunday, a completely different weather pattern moves on in, dropping us to the mid-teens with some rainfall. Tara?
Thanks, Danielle. Okay, you guys, I can guarantee you're going to like this one.
Okay.
A pair of nuns is going viral after dropping a sick beat during a Catholic TV show in Brazil.
Yeah.
You didn't expect her to be beatboxing,
Nope.
did you? And the other one's dancing. Yeah, they just launched into their routine here. They even got the deacon to join them. He was probably like, well, if these two are dancing, I better dance. These two nuns work with young people who are struggling with drug addiction. They say music has been a very powerful tool to help those in need. This performance has been viewed millions of times on social media in Brazil and around the world.
We've been practicing. They're very good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
When she first started out, I was like, and then she got into it. Nice move.
Yes. Pretty good. Well, we've had lots of videos over the years that prove things can look a little bit different when Dad's left in charge.
No, I mean, Wednesday's good.
You're ridiculous.
Ridiculous or smart? I don't know. I think he's pretty creative.
I'd do it.
He can take a call. He can get his steps in. He tows the triplets, keeps them entertained. Win, win, win.
Good idea for a grandpa.
Yes. You've got two now that you could tow behind you.
Why not, right?
Yeah.
Hey, as long as they seem amused and they're not screaming,
Yeah.
you're doing quite good.
Yep. You've heard of a man cave. You've heard of a she shed. What about a quack shack? This cute little cottage is a domestic dwelling for these lucky ducks. It's equipped with all the necessities, you know, because ducks need a porch light and a window box for their flowers.
Obviously.
And, of course, a pond in the backyard.
Don't seem to bother them. There's so many living there.
I know.
We'll share.
That's a nice place to stay.
Yeah.
Their quack shack.
Nice. All right, Skywatch weather camera. There's a bug and some sunshine and certainly some heat. Although this is more restrained heat, we could say. Easy heat compared to what's in store for us tomorrow, where it's going to be quite a bit warmer and we'll crack that 30-degree mark. So 26 degrees, the current temperature, also today's daytime high. We may make our way up to 27 before it's all said and done today, but not much higher than that. All right, looking at temperatures across the country here, mid-20s, Vancouver, Victoria, Calgary, Regina, but a little warmer up to the north. So the north end of the prairies, for example, is seeing warmer temperatures, especially in northern Alberta, northern Saskatchewan, where many communities have been in the 30s today. Heat warning in place for much of the province, and for areas not under the heat warning, still likely hitting that 30-degree mark for tomorrow. I'll show you temperatures in just a second, but we have that ridge of high pressure all the way up into the territories. This is a good strong one for today, for tomorrow. So stability for now anyway, and that heat will continue to build. So at this point, 26 in Calgary, 29 in Medicine Hat, 27 in Drumheller. So all of these areas will get into the 30s. We have the 30s up here, but that will trickle in for tomorrow, and I'll show you that here. Not in BC. BC, it will start to cool down as this ridge shifts over. 22 and rainy in Kelowna, and we have the chance of some thunderstorm activity later in the day for most communities along the foothills and in southern Alberta, but check out all these 30s. 33 in Edmonton, 30 in Olds, 33 in Drumheller, 30 in Calgary, and into the 30s for Brooks, Lethbridge, and Medicine Hat as well, again with the chance of late-day thunderstorms. Looking at that 10-day trend, this heat will last for another 3 days, and then we'd cool down significantly by Sunday and early next week. Tara?
It's good advice there. Golf is not perfect. Don't put too much pressure on yourself.
Just have fun, enjoy the sun.
We'll have that for a couple of days.
Right, drink lots of water if you're going out tomorrow. So the wind's relatively calm for much of the day. Lots of sunshine, so a morning tea time would be fantastic if you're golfing tomorrow, Glenn. But later in the day, by the supper hours though, not the best plan because we get into the chance of thunderstorms, and they could even reach severe if we get them in Calgary because of all the ingredients in place and that heat. Okay, then 26 and sunshine for Friday, back to the 30s for Saturday, and then Sunday and next week, a very different week. So if you like the heat, make the best of it now. Weather Window brought to you by Alex Windows and Doors, crafting quality windows and doors for your style budget in Alberta's climate. And Marilyn Sanderson, this one in from Banff. How stunning is this?
Beautiful shot. Thank you for your company tonight. Have a terrific evening. We'll see you again tomorrow.